liquor, man. This might be an interesting night. So, what's your biggest seller, the 135 or the 110?
On the
shit,
clear.
we're on. Hey, sorry. Welcome to Still Talking Uncut. I'm your fill-in, everybody's favorite host for the evening, Uncle Joey. Small panel tonight, man. I apologize for the rough beginning there. I got Matt LeMaster up in the corner, and from Dropzone Distilling, we got a very special guest tonight. We got Rod Parton. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having him. What happened here? We lose everybody. There we go. We got Sean backstage working the controls, so God knows what's going to happen for a little bit.
Get scared.
But thank you very much for coming on, Rod. We appreciate you giving us your time.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about, the big. Well, actually, you know what, Matt, what are you sipping on tonight?
I got some of the good old peach.
Oh, nice. Tried and true.
Yep, good stuff right there.
So I was very fortunate to have a fellow that I work with made it down to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg for the New Year's Eve, the drop there at the Space Needle. And I asked him, I said, we're having Sarge on. I said, will you do me a favor and stop in and get me a couple bottles? And he was able to go in there, and he met you, and he said you were a hell of a dude. You guys treated him well in there. He said he sampled a few things, and he loved everything he tried. He took a jar of blackberry home, and he's actually told me today that he has drank it all. So, it's cool to hear people talk about me sending people to places, and then they like the stuff that, it's good shit. I said, man, from everything I've heard, Rod makes good stuff down there. So yeah. I was glad Jason had a good time, and he said Rod treated him good down there. So I appreciate you doing that, Rod. That was awesome.
Well, that's how we do. We try to teach. I can't even talk about too many samples today.
That's all right.
That's what we do. We treat everybody. We treat everybody like family. I mean, when you come in there, if you leave with a bad experience, it wasn't because of us.
Call customer service, right?
Customer service. And this that I have in my bottle, this is the Red Line edition, which is the candy apple cherry cider. And I bumped it up with a little bit of grenadine and a little splash of rum.
Oh, nice. See, that's the joy about it, man. You can do so much stuff. You can play with it. You can twist it and put it wherever you exactly your taste likes. You know what I mean? Well,
I tell everybody, so I spent 8.5 years in the military, and then I spent 28 years in law enforcement as a firefighter. So I just tell everybody now that I have a job now where if I make a mistake, I can just drink it.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody really complains about my mistakes because they like to enjoy it as well.
Well, and as everybody knows that dabbles in the world of making their own liquor, mistakes are just mixed drinks.
That's it. 100%.
That's 100%. They're just mixed drinks. The liquor is definitely not going to waste. You put a lot of effort and love into it, it's going to get drank one way or the other. So tell us, Rod, how far back does your liquor making history go? Is something that you picked up at a young age, teenager, a little older? How'd you get started in it?
So everything that I do goes back probably to around 1932, 1934. That was my great granddad that started doing it. He spent a couple of years, got it the way he wanted it, and then he got very popular with his stuff to the point of at 35, 36, he was actually taking stuff over to Maggie, North Carolina. And the funny part about the whole thing is his dad was a constable on horseback. So his dad was out here hunting down moonshiners and knocking over steels. And we always joked that his dad was basically eliminating his competition for him.
It's kind of funny when you look into some of these moonshiners' deep history. Some of those moonshiners had law enforcement. It's not uncommon that they had law enforcement in their family at some point. You know what I mean? Because some families were so large and they ran, but most of the towns at some point you had a cousin or a nephew or somebody in your family that was law enforcement.
Yeah.
So that either worked in your favor or worked against you. It just depended on how close your family was.
And that's carried through our family all the way down. So Like I said, when I got it, my granddad was in World War II, and then I had a great uncle that he was killed in World War One, and then I've got a uncle who was he was the first Top Gun pilot, Top Gun class in '68, and then I carried on and picked up the tradition after that. So
Hell yeah.
we've got a long military history and a long law enforcement, firefighters. When you go look at our website, my son is the one that coined the phrase on there, from a U.S. paratrooper to a Tennessee state trooper. Now he's the man behind the mason jar.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Well, you definitely have had a well-rounded background there.
It's been a very painful background.
Well, I guess maybe the moonshine now is to help ease some of that pain.
Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing when you start jumping out of airplanes at 18 years old. They don't tell you at 58 you can't jump out of bed.
Well, it's kind of, you say
it
that
may not been jumping out of the airplanes. That comes natural at our age.
Yeah. I don't jump out of any bed no more. I roll out of bed. But anyway, my wife's daughter, her husband, his brother was in the Army. He was an Army Ranger and jumped out of a lot of planes. And he suffers to this day because he's got a lot of back issues, I believe, because of that's a lot of impact, man. People don't realize, you guys, that's a lot of impact on the body, hitting the ground at whatever speed that is, over and over and over and over. You do a lot of jumps. That'll get you.
And you do that, and then when you do hit the ground, then you've got to pick everything up and carry it with you. So you normally are jumping with a 60 to an 80-pound rucksack.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then you got to get up. You got your rucksack, and then you have to turn around, pack the parachute, and you have to carry that off the drop zone. And so now it's like my upper back and neck area and everything is just eat up with arthritis, and it's got this weird odd-shaped curve in it. And they said that's just from where the rucks and the chutes sit that causes that, part of your spine to turn.
Right. Probably common for a gentleman like yourself.
So anyhow, we just now we're just eat up with arthritis and
just sip on a little shine to make the days go by.
Sip on. I usually start the day off with a little bit of rye whiskey. Rye whiskey is one of my favorites that we make. We've actually taken the rye whiskey and toned it down to where it's very enjoyable. We get a lot of people that have had rye in the past and it's left them in a bad spot, and then we've come along and fixed it.
Rye is finicky, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cleanse the old palate, Rod, and fuck Sean Rigsby, and I'm going to crack his bottle open.
Is that the rye?
Is that the rye moonshine?
The mountain rye.
So the mountain rye, about 15 years ago, my dad calls me up. He's 74 years old, and he says, we need to start making liquor again. And I'm like, I didn't know we stopped. So he's like, you're still doing it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing it. He goes, well, why didn't you tell me? I said, because Papa always said you keep your mouth shut. And he goes, well, anything Daddy told you, you tell me, because I don't count. So we started making the rye, and the first time we made it, it was one of the most horrible things I'd ever tasted in my life. I told him it tastes like hammered ass on a stick at the county fair. And he said, well, that's how it's supposed to be. Rye is supposed to be. I said, no, I can fix this. So what you're tasting is the result of what I recreated. And then we won gold with that, barreled it, and that's where our rye whiskey comes from.
It's got a very mellow. I expected it to be I've had some very spicy ryes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's spice there. It just kind of comes in on the back, man. That is, Rod, that's smooth, brother. I bet you can make some cocktails, some nice. I mean, that would be a smooth sipper, but I bet that makes a nice cocktail too. You probably do some nice things with that.
You can, and a lot of people say, well, what can you do with what you've got there, the Legacy 135 and the rye?
Yeah.
And I basically tell them anything you would do with a whiskey, that's what you can do with that right there, because it's just basically it's unaged whiskey is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan, and I'm a margarita drinker, and I learned a while back that corn liquor is solid in a margarita. And I'm going to have to make me a margarita with this 135, man. I think it'll stand up nice. But you are correct. You can make anything you use with whiskey. You can make that same shit. You can make anything you want with this. It's just because it's clear. It don't deter what you're making with it.
And see, we do a Bloody Mary up here. So our Bloody Mary mix is locally sourced. We have a husband and wife that they have their own place where they make stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So our Bloody Mary mix comes to us, and it's very chunky because it's, they use all the good stuff in it.
Right.
So when we started mixing it on the bar to sell it, we started with vodka, and then we started with the Legacy. Whenever we put the rye moonshine in the Bloody Mary mix, it was a game changer. I mean, everybody that comes in there and says, well, I like Bloody Marys, but nobody can do it. They taste ours, and we sell 2 or 3 jars at a time. Because once we tell them we're making it with the rye moonshine, which is a peppery, spicy alcohol that stays in tune with the spices and everything, it's not taken away from the Bloody Mary mix. It's actually just adding to it.
Now, it's sitting here, it does have it's not overpowering, but it's a nice spice blend. It would stand up well in a cocktail. I absolutely can see that. Yeah, but I'm not a Bloody Mary drinker. That tomatoes.
I am.
Man, I can drink one Bloody Mary and then my stomach doesn't like me no more. So I'll just
we do the Bloody Mary here, and we've got the pickleback. So we put like 3 drops of pickle in it.
Oh yeah,
nice.
And it just it changes everything.
That pickleback's a game changer. It really is.
Oh, if you add it to your Bloody Mary, it's amazing.
Hell yeah. So I see some equipment back there behind you, Rod. You want to talk a little bit about what do you guys? How big a still do you guys run down there?
So we're a small batch distillery. We keep everything in tune here. This is a 325 gallon pot, and then we run 3 columns. We have a gin basket on the end. We don't use the gin basket to make gin because gin, once the botanicals get in your still, then they'll contaminate everything else you try to make.
Yeah.
So
everything's gin after that.
Yep. So we take the gin basket and we treat the gin basket like a thump keg. And so anytime we're making any of our flavored stuff, we'll actually put our flavors or our spices or our fruits and everything. We put that in the gin basket. So once it goes through, it actually infuses itself into the alcohol.
Absolutely.
So we keep everything here. Very authentic. My distiller, I was actually going to have him here tonight, or I was going to go to his place, and he had an engagement, but he's a retired Marine, and he's a 2nd generation moonshiner. So he learned it from his granddad, and his dad didn't want anything to do with it. So, he said it skipped a generation. So between the 2 of us doing what we have always done, that's why our products are so much different. Because he and I are both on the same page. He is like a mad scientist or a chemist. So he knows, he comes in here and does all the technical stuff, the pHs and all of that stuff, which, I was never taught that. I was taught if you go check your mash barrel and there's a dead possum in there, you sling it off in the woods and recap it.
Yep.
I mean, it hits temperature. It'll be all right.
Ain't nobody gonna know.
Nope, because anything that goes in the still, the only thing coming out of the still is steam. So,
well, you say that, and when you do the tour at Buffalo Trace, they got a big open ferment outside, and they talk about all the stuff that ends up in the ferment. So it happens.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that winds up in your mash during the summertime is yellow jackets.
Yeah,
because yellow jackets, they can smell that sugar from 100 miles away, and gnats. I tell you what, I don't know where the hell gnats come from, but it's like our Pigeon Forge store. The other day it was really nice and it was kind of a drizzly, rainy day, so we had the front door open. We had freaking gnats in there, and I'm like, where does Sam Hill do gnats come from in the middle of December, January?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Hey, any crack or crevice, they find a little sunshine and a little bit of warmth, man. They're out. So Are you in so where you're at now? That's in Knoxville.
Where I'm at now, this is our main distillery, which is in South Knoxville. We've been here. I started going legal in 21. So in 21, I had to put everything up and start doing it the the right way.
Right.
But in our front up there, all of my stills are still here. That
Nice.
I've always used. I've got a 40-gallon still up front, and I tell everybody it's not just there for display. It actually, I can take it down and put it together, and we'll be making liquor in about 3 hours.
Right.
So
Right now,
it still works.
You just choose to make it a showpiece. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So we just show where we came from. That's where we started, and what's behind me is where we ended up.
So you mentioned where you started. So what was the very first thing that you made liquor on? A copper pot, keg, stainless, what I mean? How did it begin for you?
Well, the first thing that I started on would have been, working with my granddad, and he had a 100-gallon still. Of course, he also had a grocery store up on the mountain, here in East Tennessee. So, getting grain and thing for him was no problem.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and at one point, my dad was a major bootlegger back in the 60s and 70s. So there is more people tell stories of him in a 56 Chevy than you can ever imagine. But so I first started learning how to do mash basically with my granddad. My great granddad was there. And then a lot of people ask me, well, how did you decide to get into it? Well, back then you didn't decide to get into it. You were told, come on, we're going up here, and you get 5-gallon buckets, and you go get water, and you go get rocks, and you get everything for them to, make the furnace for the steel. And my great granddad, back then we used wood. So hickory,
I ask that.
Yep, hickory and white ash is one of the hottest burning woods. And then the hickory, of course, hickory burns hot, but it'll burn for a long time.
Yeah, slow and hot. Yeah.
My great granddad could actually adjust the flame and the temperature of the pot just by taking a piece of wood and sliding it out or sliding it back in.
He may have done it a few times or two. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And you talk about stories, man. That's the podcast you want to start, man. You want to get some of these people and hear these deep rooted stories about real life history, man.
Right.
And like you said, those are the ones you want to grab a jar and pull up and just listen to, man. And I'm that kind of person. I work in a factory or a factory environment. I work with a majority younger and older. It's kind of a mix, but I absolutely love listening to the old people talk, man. And that's what I think is missing in this younger generation. They don't want to listen to what these old people have to say. And that's what it's all about. Listening to the history and learning and the stories, and you're going to gain some knowledge too, man. There's always knowledge to learn. At some point in time, you're going to learn something. So it's cool to hear you talk about great grandpa. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's badass, Rod, that you can go as far back as knowing that, like you said, you didn't do that because they said, hey, this is what I need you to move this water, or move these rocks. That's just what you did because you were probably either putting food on the table or keeping the lights on or the heat or whatever you had to do to survive back then.
Yeah. And when I started really taking an interest into it, that's when your granddad, that's when he starts telling you things like, if you're going to start making liquor, you better have a strong back and a weak mind. And then I actually got to the point where I was able to start helping him run the still. And we would, I got to the point where I was like, I got some people wanting some of this. He goes, first of all, you keep your damn mouth shut.
Yeah.
You don't talk about anything.
Yeah.
And second of all, he said, you never sell your liquor. He said, you always keep one man between you and your liquor. Because if you make it and you sell it and they catch you, they just wiped out the entire operation.
They wiped out the whole operation. Yep. You gotta have that middleman. Yeah.
And so that's where I learned that my dad, that's what my dad did. He didn't make a whole lot of it, but he ran a lot of it.
I mean, and that's what you got to do. You know what I mean? He did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Right.
He did his part.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So at what point, so where were you at in your life where you decided where you're at is what you wanted to do? You know what I mean? Like, was it boredom? You know what I mean? You said you're retired. Was it you needed something to do, or was it something that you knew you were going to do? Is more kind of my question. Is it something that you knew eventually that was a path you were going to do?
Well, I just basically when I started back into doing it, I did it basically just because of the curiosity. You know, okay, I have this much knowledge, so what can I do to change, or what can I make this better? So that's when I started redoing it, and that was probably back in the late '90s. I just started experimenting. I had a small still back then. I used started back then with a 20-gallon pot. And then that way, you know, I'd make my mash, still make my mash 50 gallons at a time. I'd use a 50-gallon barrel to make the mash. And that way I could always get 2 runs out of it. So if the first one came out really good, you know, then we cap it and take that mash and put it in another spot, and then we'll put the rest of it in there, rerun that. And then, so that's where another thing that I was always taught was the art of blending. So we blend to this day. That's how we always did it. You know, my granddad once told me, he said, you know, because each time you run the still, he would always take that mash and we would regenerate it 3 times. So that's what's known as sour mash. Nowadays they call it first generation, second generation, and third generation mash. You know, we just referred to it as sour mash. So what he would do is he would run the first one and he would put that in a container, and then put the mash back in, re-ferment it, run it again, put that in a second container, and then we'd do it one more time for a third run, and it'd go in a third container. So when his third container had sat for 7 days, and he always said, you don't mess with anything that comes off the still because it's angry. It's still pissed off at the world. It's just been born and it needs time to settle down. So when that third run would sit for 7 days, he would take all 3 of those runs and put them into one container, and then he would cut that container. So, and he explained it like, he said, if I take the first run and I sell it to you, and then I take the third run and I sell it to him, the third run is going to have 10 times more flavor, and it's going to be a lot better than what the first run did.
Yeah.
And he said, if you take and do 3 times and you blend 3 times and you cut all 3 of them at one time for one cut, there's your product. He said, you can do it today, you can do it 10 years from now, and your product will taste the exact same 10 years from now.
Consistency. Yeah.
And that's what we do here. We put everything, we use 55-gallon stainless drums. That's what I got my camera sitting on right now. So we'll put the stuff together, and then we'll dump everything in one of these drums, and then that's where we cut from. And then once we cut it, that's how we bottle it. Huh, he says. Look at me giving away secrets up here tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
so everybody Venmos me $49.95 for that secret. But wait, if you do it now for the low price of just shipping, I will give you 2 more secrets.
but wait, there's more.
But wait,
listen,
there's
man.
more.
No, but listen, and the way I see it and the way my ears hear it, you are sticking tried and true to what you learned, and that's what, to this day, that's what you're doing, and that's to me that's history, man. That's comes from you. You know what I mean? Like, that's your heritage. How you're running today is how they ran, and that's pretty cool, man. And you're sticking to that, and you're staying with that, and that's badass.
So those 2 bottles that you have there, we basically say that's illegal liquor with a legal label on it. So man, we've got what you've got right there. I've still got it in mason jars that's been copper steel run, and we can let you taste them side by side, and you'd be surprised how close. The only thing about a copper run product off of a true copper steel has such a unique flavor to it. And you can taste that when if I bring out one of the old mason jars and let you taste some of the stuff I did, you'll taste that difference in it. But got to do what you got to do. So,
this is good liquor. There ain't nothing to be ashamed of here. Yeah, I mean, I opened it up and corn hit me in the face. I mean, it's corn liquor. Is that a white corn? Is that what you use? Is this a?
It's actually a combination.
That's what I was going to say. Is it multiple corns? Is it one
Yep.
corn?
So we use white and yellow corn.
What it reminds me of, when you're out on a blacktop road on an extremely hot and humid summer day, and you're driving by, and it's corn on the corn on the left, and it's corn on the right, and it's corn behind you, and it's corn in front of you, and you stop your vehicle and you roll down all the windows. That right there is what I get out of this bottle right here. No, I'm being dead serious, man. It's corn.
Yeah,
I smell corn.
Yeah, when you stop like that and roll your windows down, that's what heaven smells like.
No, to me, see, so Rod, I'm a bourbon guy. I came from a podcast that we drank bourbon and we talked a lot of shit. And a guy named Dan Gray popped out of the blue and introduced us to the sweet world of corn liquor, man. And I tell you what, I love it. There's the flavor of corn liquor does.
We converted him.
Well, there's so many. Well, it's not really converted. It's just I'm a purist because I like where bourbon comes from is what I like to say.
I'd like to get you a bottle of our bourbon that's been aged from that right there and let you see what that tastes like because that'll really surprise you.
I'll be down in Tennessee here in a couple months. You bet your ass I'm gonna be at your distillery.
Absolutely, you need to
whether I stop in Knoxville on the way or stop in Pigeon, I'll figure something out, man. But I definitely I like the way corn liquor tastes. It's got so many. Mm-hmm. You've got yellow corn, white corn, blue corn, Jimmy Red. There's so many variances to it, man. It's just crazy. It really is.
We've started making one of the products for one of the moonshiners. His name's Brad. And his is Liberty Soulshine. Mm-hmm. And he uses a red, white, and blue corn. And whenever we mash it in, the mash turns purple.
Yeah. We had Brad on, and I believe Brad got that corn from old Phil Billy Moonshine.
He did. Yes, sir.
So once again, that's awesome. Yeah, Brad's an awesome dude. I'm glad things are going well for Brad. Liberty Soulshine is awesome.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for his the new jar that he's got coming out, the Liberty Bell jar. It's going to be an awesome release.
Yeah, we've got them stacked. They're stacked right there, about 4 high.
Hell yeah!
Well, go ahead and send a few out to us.
I'll do that. I'll tell him they're promo jars.
Yeah. He loves us. He loves us. Well, he likes me and Matt. I don't know how he feels about Sean and Big Easy. But he definitely likes these guys. Yeah. So, how many flavors do you have at Dropzone, Rod? Do you offer a bunch of different flavors? Do you kind of keep it to a handful that you like, or
we keep it to a handful? So, I think right now we've got 12, 13 flavors. I've got 4 new products that I'm going to release this spring. Now that we got the Pigeon Forge store open. But anytime we do a new flavor, that flavor is made the old-fashioned way, and then we'll take 2 jars and we put 2 jars on the bar, and we let those 2 jars get taste tested by everybody that's coming in to a tasting. We tell them what it is, tell them what we're doing with it, and then if I get enough, holy crap, that's delicious, we'll make it. If we get enough of the then I'm not going to waste my time with it. So every flavor that I've got here has been taste tested through 2 jars before we ever put it on the shelf.
And I'll be honest, that's the way to do it, man. Get your 2 best recipes and let the people decide, because ultimately that's who's buying it, the people.
Yep. And one of the ones that's going to come out first is our butter pecan, because we have had so much call for that. So we went and made it, and now all I get is how quick can we get that? So, and then we've got then I've got one of my shines that I make. It's one that I created probably about 16 years ago, just everything that I had learned. So I went and created my own shine, my own blend. And so we're going to release that one, and then I've actually got that one as an aged corn whiskey. So we'll be one of the first ones up here that does a true corn whiskey.
Hey, not to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you because that's what I do sometimes. Do you have an oat whiskey?
An oat whiskey?
Oat.
Yes, we have one. It's called a light oat whiskey.
No, OAT, oats. Do you
Yes.
have yes, okay.
That's one of our signature whiskeys that we have. That's one of the first ones we made. It's the oat whiskey.
Hmm.
And all my
So-
bourbon drinkers say it's extremely dangerous because it drinks way too smooth. And then you get a lot of women go, well, I don't like bourbons and ryes. They'll taste this and they actually taste it because it's more of a sweeter whiskey.
It'll
You
have
got that
nice
whiskey bite,
mouthfeel.
and we proof it at 80, so it's not harsh, it's not hot. It's just a really nice sit down and be able to sip it.
I bet that is good.
I'm very intrigued by that. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And it's a really good mixing whiskey because anything you mix it with, you still have that original taste, but then you have a whiskey taste on the background. And that's reason is that because there's no corn or rye in it. So corn and rye are dominant grains. So anything that's in there, like if you do a Jack and Coke, Jack dominates everything in the glass, including the ice cubes. It actually lets you have two tastes. You'll taste a whiskey taste and then you get your cola taste.
That's crazy. Damn it. I should have had him grab me a bottle of that.
I'm just saying.
I struggled.
Listen,
I struggled because I probably could have spent about $200 and then my wife would have definitely murdered me. So, I was trying to keep it like I had a bottle and I was like, okay, I want this. Okay, I want this. I want this. No, I can't do that. So, yeah, when I come down for my vacation, I'm definitely buying bottles. It'll be all good.
Well, just let me know which distillery you're going to, and I will make sure that I'm there.
Yeah, hell yeah, Rod. It'll be cool. Oats, yeah, that mouthfeel. And that I'm that bourbon guy that mouthfeel is a big thing because I'm so used to it with bourbon and the viscous, the oily, the flavor that you get in some of that. And then the oats definitely brings a different mouthfeel. So it's cool to do. I did a blueberry oat, and the mouthfeel on that was really interesting.
What were you drinking there? Are you supposed to have your pinky sticking out when you drink that?
Well, so listen.
I was gonna go. Thank you, Rod.
So listen, I snuck this in real quick.
That's what she said.
A dear dude, one of my favorite shiners, Mark Morgan. I was on a podcast the other night, and I joke around because they always exchange their addresses. And I said, "Hey, what do? I needed my address," and they sent him my address. And man, I got a box. I got a box of stuff. So I was trying to sneak Mark Morgan's little cup in here real quick, and Rod called me out like a motherfucker real quick. So that's Mark Morgan, Uncle Moonshine, man. I love the dude. He's an awesome dude.
He's a good guy. That's for sure.
I think me and Uncle Moonshine are going to do some future work together. So I'm excited and look forward to that coming up, you guys. Something's going to happen. I promise. So yeah, thanks, Rod.
You're welcome. I didn't know if you were sneaking in a little espresso shot there to go with your.
Nah, I was trying to be slick and sneak in Mark's little shot glass he sent me.
Gotcha.
But how long is the Pigeon Forge distiller? You don't have a still in what the hell? We got some Japanese listeners. There's no still in the Pigeon Forge site. That's just a bottle shop, correct? Or do you have plans on putting a still in there?
Yeah, no, that place is so small right now. Basically, we do some bottling and blending there. So it keeps us in a classification of a distillery. But everything is made and done here. So we've actually rented another space here at this warehouse, and that's where we store because we were out of room. So we store all of our grains, our barrels that are aging and everything. They're at the warehouse at the other end of this complex.
Hell yeah.
Which makes it really good because, we can just run back and forth with a forklift and move stuff, and we're not having to put it in trucks and haul it everywhere we go.
Well, I mean, it's awesome that you're expanding too. That's definitely bigger is better. So that's awesome, dude. That is absolutely awesome.
Right.
That's definitely a sign that you're making good liquor.
Yeah,
because
going in the right direction.
Well, and you get on the social media every day and you see where these bourbon distilleries are closing down. in my opinion, if your bourbon distillery is closing down, it's because you're making bad liquor.
Well, that you've got so much of it. I think what did they have? How many millions of gallons did they have? And
Yeah.
and the thing about that too, if you go listen to that whole story, they're getting eat up with alcohol tax. I think they're paying 75 million a year, if I remember, and just in taxes for that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what that's the thing about this right here. So, when we make this, when it comes off the still, you pay whatever, I think it's $2.39 a proof gallon. So you have to pay that as soon as it's made. Then you put it in a barrel and then it has to sit for 2 or 3 years. So you're making no money off of that while it just sits. And then the minute you harvest the barrel and put it in a bottle and you sell the bottle, then you turn around and pay another tax on that.
So that brings me to something just slapped me like a ton of bricks. And excuse me if I'm an idiot. So potentially with all these taxes on all the bourbon, guys like myself that drink bourbon, I can go buy a barrel. Hear me out, and I could go buy clear liquor. So what's to say with all these taxes, they're just not going to, the market for clear liquor is going to become a little more accessible where I'm going to want to age my own shit now.
Yeah,
I don't have to pay all, you know what I mean? Like this.
Oh, that's true, because we get a lot of people call us every day wanting our barrels. And see, we use 15-gallon barrels because there's only 3 of us. And the majority of the time I was here by myself when we were doing this. So a 15-gallon barrel full weighs 161 pounds.
Right.
So I can pick up 1 barrel and move it by myself. But you look at a 53, those are 700 pounds.
No.
So you get that thing on the edge of a forklift and you try and dump it so you can harvest the whiskey out. If it gets to rolling off that forklift and hits you, you're going to be freaking Wile E. Coyote walking around like an accordion.
Yep.
Right.
Well, even if it starts rolling, you ain't stopping it.
Nope.
So you talked earlier about one of your distillers. I'm going to ask you this now. Would you mind maybe once we get off the air, when we figure it out, we can maybe have him on at a different date? Maybe you can jump back on with him.
Yeah, we can set something up, and then I will go over to his place. I said, he and his partners, they're Marines, and so they're called Blood Stripe Brewing.
Hell yeah!
And then, and a lot of people. So just because everybody goes, what is Blood Stripe? Where did the Blood Stripe come from? So if you look at the dress blues that the Marine Corps wears, your NCOs, the stripe on the side of the pants for the NCOs, which is sergeants, that stripe is red. And that stripe is called a blood stripe. So that's where Blood Stripe got the name from for the brewing company, because they were all NCOs and they wore the dress blues with the red stripe.
Well, we'll talk after this and we'll figure that out as well. So that sounds like a whole nother good time.
Yep, and I'll actually go over there and we'll sit there and do it from the brewery over there.
Hell yeah!
Now, where's that located?
It's in Alcoa, which is about probably 25 minutes from here.
Okay.
Hell yeah!
They're like us. They're starting out small. You got to start out small and grow, and you got to learn to walk before you can fly. But I mean, shit, I've been doing this 4 years, and I feel like a damn dodo bird. You run about 3 steps and jump, hit the ground. Run 3 steps, jump, hit the ground.
Well, and this is all I can say. I'm new. I'm a hobbyist. I like making the small batch myself, and you can always learn. You can always learn something new. And, listen to some of these guys talk. There's always something new to learn. There's always knowledge to gain, and it might make what you make just a little bit better. And you might just tweak it just a little bit, and you'll be like, damn, that did make a difference. So it's really cool to hear what some of these guys have to say sometimes, and to really accept some of the, it's not really criticism, but like, hey man, you make damn good liquor, but you ever thought about doing this? You know what I mean? Like there's so many different variables to it, man. It really is. And I like the fact that everybody's willing to share their knowledge and to listen to you talk. You sound like another guy that it'd be fun to listen to you tell some stories and gain a little knowledge from you as well. Well,
that's basically so whenever he came here to go to work with me, that's what he goes, you make really good stuff. Your stuff is top notch. He goes, what do you do your pH at? I'm like, the hell's pH? He goes, where do you put your enzymes? I'm like, enzymes? So then he's like, all right, so hear me out. And he goes, you can comment if you want, but you're going to be wrong, but just hear me out. And then he goes, if we did this, this, and this, and I'm like, okay, well, let's try it. And so, it took him 2 or 3 runs on this here to figure everything out. But I mean, he's got it down to a science now.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes out of this. I mean, it comes out of the parrot's beak down here. Half the time it looks like a cow pissing on a flat rock. It's coming out so fast and hard.
Nice, steady stream.
Yep.
So,
but that's just it. You got to stay open. I mean, you got to stay open-minded and listen because, I mean, everything changes. This stuff is changing every single day. And if you don't change and get your product up to par, my distributor first told me when we went to distribution, the distributor said, you've got the product. He said, we've just got to get lips on the bottles. And so that's been our biggest challenge is getting our product out there and getting it known.
And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. Just getting enough people to try your product. And if your product is solid enough, those people will want to purchase more or find where they can get more.
They do. I mean, everybody that's come here and bought, they have been customers for life. I mean, we have repeat people that just walk in the door every day and it's like, can I help you? Nope. I know exactly what I want. I'm getting this, this, and this. And that's the easiest customers to deal with.
So absolutely. So I know you talked about Brad earlier. Let's talk a little bit about what you got going on there. Do you, to me, what it sounds like, you've got open arms and you're really willing to help these guys.
Yeah.
And that, to me, man, that's awesome. You were willing to help a guy like me can come down there and me and you could work something out and I could have a jar on the shelf down there, man. That's what I think is badass, man. So
yes, I agree.
Guys like me, I want to say that I appreciate what you do. And I know there's a lot of other people that appreciate what you do.
I really respect that.
Well, I've got one of the other moonshiners. So we're going to start helping him get his stuff done. I've actually got 3 other guys from Master Distiller that we're going to start doing their stuff for him.
Nice.
And the one guy from Moonshiners, we sat and talked for almost an hour and a half on his first visit. And he was with his wife and everything. And when he left, he goes, you're the first person that's ever sat and listened and taken interest. He goes, everybody else just, throws up their hand or turn their back and leaves. And I'm like, dude, just my first year of trying to get this open, I've had more doors shut in my face. And so I know what it feels like. I mean, I know what it feels like to just be ignored. And I did. I walked around a long time with the attitude like, if I ever get this up and I blow it wide open, then y'all can just kiss my ass. But then you know what? That's not who I am. That's not how I was raised. That's not where I come from.
But listen, I get that why you felt that way. You know what I mean? Because you feel like when you're probably opening it, it's you against the world. You know what I mean? Like your back's against the wall and everybody's trying to see you fail and you want to see it succeed. And you're like, fuck it. But now you're like, man, I have this platform. Let's make this succeed for everybody. And that's what the moonshine community is about, man. It's about helping everybody succeed. Yeah. From start to finish, man. That is one thing I can say that I respect more than anything from all the raffles and anything, the hands that are given when needed, the toy drive, you helping shiners get labels on the shelf. It's just the community, man. It's just something that you guys do. And I got mad respect for it, dude. So shout out to you and all the shiners like you.
I appreciate that. Like I said, we need to work together. I mean, there's enough people out there and everybody has a different palate, a different taste, a different
absolutely
what they want. So it's not like I'm going to come in here and make the biggest freaking distillery in the world, because then you get to the point where nobody likes your product no more. Now they're looking for something different.
Yeah. That's true.
So that's what we try to do. We try to keep a variety of things that people like, and I listen to people, when people say, hey, here's what we'd like to hear, we'd like to taste, we'd like to see this product.
Yeah. We all like something different. So no matter what, I mean, Uncle Joey likes one thing, I like something else, but if you got a variety, you're hitting us all.
Matt likes sheep, I like goats. So, it's whatever.
Wow. You just went there, didn't you?
That's what we do, Rod. That's what we do. Cloven hoofed animals make the better lovers is all I can say.
Give me the Velcro gloves.
Yeah, it's whatever. But
and then you hear him walking around out there going, "Are you my daddy?" Nope, but you'll never need a sweater.
Yes, absolutely. Never need a sweater. So what you have? What's in store for the future, Rod? What does Dropzone have? What's coming up, man? What you got going on?
We've got two things right now that we are really working on, and I really can't say here because until
the reason why I say that, you just dropped a bunch of, we got this, and this. I want to hear moonshiners' names, Rod, not to interrupt you. Come on, let's hear them. Let's hear them.
Let's hear them. Junior's one of them. Justin Meredith is one of them.
Yes.
Justin Meredith will be here on the 24th.
Hey, man, I am listen.
He's
I am so fucking happy that you're doing that, man.
Yes.
Us here at Still Talking, we are backing Justin all that we can, man.
Yeah.
Anything we can do, Rod, listen, anything we can do to help you and Justin do your thing, let's do this, man. You guys are awesome. I love what you're doing, and keep pushing, dude. I love you. That's fucking badass. Keep going. Sorry.
That's it. You're good. So
all right.
But no, we've got Dropzone is doing. We've got two other projects that's in the work. That's going to be it's going to be a spinoff of Dropzone.
Okay.
And that's something once we get all the attorney stuff locked down, maybe we can get back on here and then talk about the other two things that we did.
Benny, Tater, Joey loves sausage. I love Tater.
Yeah.
Tater was in. He came down to the distillery probably about a month ago. I think a little bit before Christmas.
Yeah.
So he came in. I've met him.
He's a good dude.
Hey, Tater's a good dude, man. He's one of the good ones, man.
Jerry from Moonshiners. He stopped in.
Hell yeah.
So I got to meet Jerry, and we talked shop for a minute.
Was that during Brad's release? Was that during the Liberty Soulshine release down there? Was that what
it was? Yeah, that first day that he did his. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I like how you guys played that weekend. You guys played the Liberty Soulshine right into Tater and Big Nick's release. Dude, moving forward, that's a kick-ass way to do that because you're showcasing everybody. You know what I mean? You're giving everybody their platform. And,
right.
And kudos to you, Rod. I can't say this enough. I think it's so awesome just to hear you mention Justin's name, dude. I'm still smiling. I love Justin, man. Justin is awesome, man.
Yeah, he's got. So we do the Bloody Mary. So one of the things he's got is that the taco shine. So we're interested to see how to take the taco shine and mix that with our Bloody Mary mix and put the two spices together.
Oh,
I think that will do extremely well.
That calls for a road trip right there. That's worth a drive for us.
Come on.
Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I might have to lean over and talk to the boss about that, right?
Oh shit. So do you guys at your Pigeon Forge site, what exactly is the pigeon? Is that just a bottle shop? Do you have can you have mixed drinks there? I've not been in there yet. Explain to the people what you've got going on there at Pigeon Forge.
Right now it's just right now we're just doing a tasting room. Just because we're right now in the dead of winter. But once we break into the spring, we're going to start doing some cocktails. We've got two of the slushy machines that we'll get this spring. So during the summertime, we'll actually do a moonshine icy. So be able to come in and get something like that. We'll do two of them. So we'll have two different flavors. We'll change that every week. So each week we'll do a different flavor.
Hell yeah.
And I say that I've never used it. I don't know how they work. So we'll just see how that goes.
So before we get too far away from it, tell everybody the address at the Pigeon Forge location, Ron.
So our Pigeon Forge store, it's on Teaster Lane. It's across from the Mountain Mile Mall. It's 2674 Teaster Lane. We sit right next door to the Murder Mystery Theater.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
that's probably the easiest way to find us. Directly across the street is the Nike outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And then our Facebook, Facebook is Dropzone Distilling on Facebook, and our website is drinkdropzone.com. And you can go to our website and you can actually order our products from the website.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I know the next time that I am in Tennessee that I will be in Drop Zone.
Definitely.
And I just I can't believe that I'm mad now that I didn't have my buddy bring me more liquor, because I feel like I should have had some flavors. Rod messaged me and he said, "What kind of flavors are you trying to drink?" I'm not a flavor drinker. I'm a clear drinker. But now, after I hear you talk about some of your flavors, I wish I would have brought some of your flavors. So that's a whole nother interview, Rod. See, you're gonna be another guest. You'll be on again.
Well, our apple pie moonshine, everybody comes in there and says everybody's got an apple pie.
Yep.
So right now we are winning hearts and minds with our apple pie, because our apple pie is actually my grandmother's recipe. She would make it every Christmas as a warm cider. And, that's when kids got to drink out of it, the little teacups, and like we'd put our little pinky out and act like we were somebody. And so after that was over with, and she'd get a jar of Papa's liquor and pour in it. And then when the ladies would come up, then they would nip at it, or she always kept it under the second stair down and going into the basement. She called it her rheumatism medicine.
You got to have your medicine.
Got to have your medicine.
I'm drinking my medicine right now.
Yeah.
Did you just pour that in your ear?
No.
Hey, nothing.
Hey,
Uncle Joey.
Any hole will do, Rod. Any hole will do.
That's what she said.
Oh, shit. Well, Rod, I tell you what, man. Apple pie slushies. Oh, shit. There you go.
So we do blackberry. Blackberry is one of my original recipes. And then we've got another one that I created, and this is one of our best sellers right now. It is a candy apple cherry cider. So I actually use, so I use cherry cider, which doesn't give you a medicine-y taste. And then I do a candy apple infusion on the back of it. And in that way, you don't wind up with Robitussin. Because anytime you do cherry and alcohol, you get cough syrup.
Or urinal puck.
Yeah.
Every time I tried it, it's just urinal puck.
That's a pretty good. I'm going to have to put that in my toolbox and use that one.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, Rod, I think we've taken up about a much. Listen, we can talk all night if you want. But I think we've taken up enough of your time. I think we're going to have you back on, though, brother. I really do. I think I'm going to get with you, and we're going to talk about getting your distiller on, and we'll definitely do another interview with you, brother. I really appreciate you giving us your time tonight. We learned a lot about you and your distillery, and I appreciate you and your service and everything you've done for the community.
Yes,
and I can't wait to see what Justin's got going on down there.
Like I said, he'll be here on the 24th, so this will be our first sit-down get-together. And he's supposed to be bringing. He actually mailed me some stuff down here, and two of them broke in the mail. So the postman walked in here carrying a box dripping, and it looked like Clark Griswold with Aunt Bethany's green thing that she had. That Cousin Eddie's like, "Yep, Clark, there's some good stuff." So that's what we did. We basically just stuck our finger on the box and tasted it, and we're like, "Holy crap, that tastes like some kind of shortcake."
So he's there on the 24th. All right.
I think that's the day we've got scheduled. I think that's a Saturday. He's coming down.
Well, listen, Justin's a great dude. I hope I'm excited to see what you guys do together. And Rod, I really appreciate you having you on, man. I really do.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I enjoy it.
Listen, from the Shiner community, man. I think it's awesome from what you're doing.
Yes.
If anybody out there wants to do anything, man, reach out and talk to Rod. See what he can do for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
If he can't, man, so be it. But maybe he can. Maybe he can do what you need him to do, and maybe you guys can work something out and put a label on the shelf. Who knows? Maybe one day Uncle Joey will have a jar.
And that's what that's what we're doing in the distillery. So whenever we create something like, we did Bruiser Martin's Tiger Shine.
Yeah.
And then now we've got Brad's Liberty Shine. So everything that we do, we're going to create its own little shelf for it. So that way, anybody that wants their product, they can come here and get it. And then once we get everything approved for it, I'm actually going to put it in our online store. So you can actually go online and get it without having to go all the way to Tennessee to figure out how to get it, because your liquor stores are so hard to deal with. They are like their own entity. And, a lot of times, one of the big secrets is if you've got something really good and you're doing really good with it, a lot of these big distilleries with the big money, they'll go to the warehouse and they'll say, either you get that out of the warehouse or we're going to pull our product.
Oh, absolutely.
And so they'll kill small people just because they feel threatened.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, as we leave here, Rod, tell everybody where they can get your products at, please.
So again, you can go to Facebook. We're Dropzone Distilling on Facebook and Instagram. We've also got a TikTok page, learning how to do TikToks. It's all Dropzone Distilling. And then our website is drinkdropzone.com, drinkdropzone.com. That'll take you to the website. You can go in there and see the products. We're in the process right now of getting the website updated. It's 3 years old, so it needs a little bit of love. And then those products that he's got right there, you'll see them on there. You can order them and we'll send them right to your door. Our distributor does really good. There's only a few states that they can't ship to, but everybody in that state knows somebody in another state that can get it and mail it to them.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Well, listen, I appreciate you, Rod. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining Still Talking tonight. Next week, we've got Jeffrey Anderson on, so it'll be interesting to talk to Jeffrey, and excited for that. But I appreciate everybody. You guys have a good night.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.